We are still in business organizations, which has brought us to talk about multinational companies. So what are multinational companies? Multinational companies are companies that have branches or operate in more than one country. They have their operations in more than one country. That means they have their either factories or branches in more than a country. That's why we call them multinationals. So what makes it easier to have multinational companies across the countries? It is through globalization. So globalization has brought about having multinational companies. So what has made globalization easier? And what has brought about these easy links in globalization? Communication, advancements in technology, and lower cost of production or transportation. So these three deals have made it easier for businesses to set up in other countries. Is it clear? Great. So with all these three, we could talk about globalization. And lastly, we need to talk about trade liberalization. What is trade liberalization? Breaking the barriers of trade. Allowing free trade. Free trade. So free trade is more like international trade. So that means there's buying and selling across the globe. So people can buy or sell in more than one country. Is it clear? Great. So this is what multinational is. Then we'll talk about globalization. Let's see. So globalization involves the movement of people, capital, trade, and technology across the globe. So if we can interchange trade, we can deal with different people, we can exchange views, we can exchange ideas. It is globalization. Is it clear? Great. So now we're going to we're going to the various factors of globalization now. Various factors of globalization. So for various factors of globalization, I'm talking about factors that influence globalization. Lower costs of transportation. So when talking about lower cost of transportation, what does it imply? It implies that these days, the level at which people could travel has become of a ease, unlike those days that it is difficult to move around. Do we get it? Are you there? Yeah. So with globalization, there's air transportation, there's rail transportation, there's sea transportation, there's road transportation. So cost of transportation has been reduced due to the fact that whichever means is suitable for you, you are able to use it to transport, to move. So individuals, businesses would use the cost of transport, they would use the kind of transportation method that suits their finance or their cost or their budget. Do you get it? So my business could choose to use air transportation because it is ideal for our business because it is cheaper for our business, it is faster for our business. The business can use road transportation because it is ideal for the business, it is easier for the business, it is at a reduced cost for the business. Do we get it? So each way, transportation has become optional. You are able to choose different means of transportation for your business. Unlike those days that you only have one means of transportation, but now there are different kinds of means to transport goods, services, or people. Is it clear? Great. Then the second one, advancement in technology. We're talking about technology. Now we're still on factors that help globalization. So the second one is advancement in technology. When we talk about advancement in technology, what does technology even do? Technology makes things to become faster. Yes or no? Good. So if technology makes things to become faster, with technology, it means we are able to reach different kinds of customers at any point in time. We are able to reach different views. We are able to reach different businesses at any point in time. Do you understand? Okay. The third one. Efficient communication system. These days, there's efficiency in our communication method. People are able to get information as soon as they want it, as fast as they want it. And it's not just getting it, it is clearer, better in terms of services. You know, when there's lack of communication, then production might not even take place. These days, whatever you need to do, you can get it done efficiently because there is link of communicating. There is access to communication, to information. So people are able to reach each other. Businesses are able to reach other businesses due to efficient communication methods. Is it clear? Great. And the last one, trade liberalization. So when we talk about trade liberalization, we're talking about removing the barriers of trade, ensuring there is free trade. Do you get it? So when there is free trade, that means there is international trade. That means different countries can trade with each other. Libya can trade with Turkey. Turkey can trade with Tunisia and the West. There is international trade. And what is international trade? Trade between countries. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Okay. So, with all these factors, there is a birth for multinational companies. So multinational companies are able to stand. Multinational companies are able to start up because there's globalization. And what is globalization again? The movement of people, the movement of capital, the movement of trade from one country to another. Is it clear? Great. So we talked about the advantages of multinationals now. So they said MNCs operate on a very large scale, so they are able to exploit economies of scale. So this is that the MNC can pass on cost savings to customers in the form of lower prices, thereby enhancing its international competitiveness. One of the advantages of having a multinational company is that they operate on a larger scale. So that means they are able to operate in a big way. And this will lead to having economies of scale. What is economies of scale? A cost advantage that allows firms to sell at a lower price. Do you get it? Because they operate at a larger scale, they will be able to enjoy economies of scale. And if they are able to enjoy economies of scale, they will be able to sell at a lower price to customers. Which means customers will be able to afford their product or service. Also enhancing their own international competitiveness. That means they will be able to compete with the rest of their competitors. Do you get it? So the first advantage of having a multinational company is what? They operate on a very large scale. Which means if you are operating on a very large scale, you should be able to enjoy economies of scale. And enjoying economies of scale means what? Your cost of production would have reduced. And if your cost of production reduces, the prices at which you are going to sell will go less. Making the product or service affordable for customers, and also enhancing your own international competitiveness as a business. Is it clear? Okay. So I said they operate on a large scale. As this ensures they enjoy economies of scale, which in turn reduces the prices passed on to customers. Is it clear? Yeah. So, through job creation, MSCs are able to improve the standard of living in countries where they operate. You know, when multinational companies set up in a country, it means they're going to create jobs in that country. And when job is created, what happens? The standard of living of that country will improve. Because people will have jobs, then they can live a better life. So look at what I said. Through job creation, MSCs are able to improve the standards of living in the country they operate. So whichever country they are able to improve their standard of living because they're going to create jobs. Is it clear? Good. The third one said, by operating in overseas markets, MSCs are able to generate more profit by selling to a larger customer base. Since they operate in more than one country, this increases their revenue and as a result, increases their profits. Is it clear? So, because they operate in a large scale, they have large customer base, this will increase their sales and at the same time increases their profits. Is it clear? So that's about the advantages. So we go to the problems now, okay? So we just have to take them later. So we talk about the problems now. Are you there? That's page 118. Page 118. Are you there? Okay. MSCs face an array of issues to deal with, such as different legal system, regulation, and environmental guidelines. The lack of local knowledge can also cause major problems for an MSC. You know, now they have their branch, they have their headquarters in one country. That means their own country. But operating in more than one country means you need to have the local knowledge of those countries. So this might be difficult because those countries have their own laws, those countries have their own tradition, which might not suit the operation of the MNCs or the operation of the business. Because each country has their own different ideology. So this could become a problem for the MNCs. They might lack the local knowledge of countries they are going to set up within. Is it clear? It's a difference in legal system, tradition could hinder the progress of MSCs. It might not make them to expand as they really wish to expand. Is it clear? Another problem they could have is the exchange rate. You know, the exchange rate could be fluctuating. You know what fluctuation is? Unstable exchange rate, unstable exchange rate. So this could also affect multinationals because every now and then they have to be thinking about the exchange rate of the countries, which may not make their operations to go smoothly. So I said, unstable exchange rate might hinder their financial plans as they need to constantly plan on what is not certain. So every now and then they need to start planning. They need to plan and plan and plan. But what are they planning on? They are planning on an external factor which they don't have power over. Is it clear? So the exchange rate is either a fixed exchange rate or a floating exchange rate. Either ways, yeah, for the fixed exchange rate, yeah, they can plan on it. But most of the time, businesses don't deal with the fixed exchange rate. They deal with the floating exchange rate. While the floating exchange rate, it depends on what the demand and supply of the currency. The fixed exchange rate central bank exchange rate, which is fixed. The floating one is the one they use in the black market. So the ones in the black market is always in the parallel market. So you can use the parallel market. The one in the parallel market is always based on the demand and supply of the currency. So this might not make the business to really plan on how they finance their business. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Do you understand the difference between the floating and the fixed exchange rate now? For the floating exchange rate, it is the demand for currency and the supply of currency. But for the fixed one, it's from the central bank of the country. Do you get it? I said a floating exchange rate is basically for the floating exchange rate, fluctuation. So when there is fluctuation in an economy, it means a multinational company that would need the currency of that country might not be able to plan financially. So let's say an American company started up here in Libya. It's going to need the dollars and it's going to need the dinars. So an unstable dinars becomes a problem for the American company. Because every now and then they have to change their financial plan based on the country's currency. Is it clear? Another problem about multinationals is they cut cost, which means they might exploit local workers. Do you understand? They want to employ local workers at a reduced wages. So I said they might exploit local workers due to cost-cutting strategy. Is it clear? Okay. And let me give you one more problem about the MNCs. MNCs don't use local workers as their top managers. Do you get it? They prefer to bring directors, managers from abroad. So, what the kind of job made available for the local workers are casual works. Is it clear? Are you here? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Adam, can you hear me? Can you? Okay. So, another problem about the multinational companies is they don't use local workers as their top managers. Is it clear? Is it clear? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. Another problem again is that they might force local firms to be out of the business. Do you understand? Because they operate in a larger capacity. They have a lot of expertise. So this could create a problem for the local firms, putting them out of the business. Is it clear? So they might put local firms out of business, forcing them to shut down. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Hello, Adam? Is it clear? The last line I said they might put local firms out of business, that is forcing them to shut down.